What's going on, everybody? My name is Brent Pella, and welcome to the Brent Pella Show, dude. The world's first and only podcast. It's the only one, okay? No other ones exist, all right? So I'm happy you're here. The first full episode of this podcast is going to drop on Monday, March 16th, and then every Monday after that. But I wanted to put out this clip today because about a week ago, I asked on Instagram, I asked people if they had any suggestions for the podcast, anything they wanted to see or hear me talk about. And somebody messaged me asking about the origin of the Eminem impression that I do. And I thought that would be a pretty cool thing to kind of lead into the full podcast and give you guys some information on that, because it's one of my favorite things to do, and it's also one of the most popular things that I think I've done. So the origin story of it is pretty cool. Eminem dropped his album Kamikaze in like late August 2018. I think it was like the very end of August, the 31st. And I've always loved Eminem. I've been a huge fan my whole life. And so immediately I listened to the album on the day it dropped. And I just like halfway through the first couple songs, I couldn't stop laughing because the guy was just dissing everybody. Everyone he possibly could, he was dissing, like rappers, people that he knew, people's wives, whoever, I don't know. But it just felt like he was dissing so many people. And I was like, man, I gotta make fun of that, dude. That's where my head goes immediately. I gotta poke fun at whatever is trending or whatever people are taking like really seriously. I really enjoy making fun of a little bit to turn into something a little more light and silly. And at the time, I had never really done impressions. I wasn't really doing impressions on stage. I hadn't done any impression videos leading up to this one. And I didn't really feel like the impression guy, right? But I wanted to try it for this. And I felt like if I could fully commit, I could pull it off. Because I never really thought I had the voice to some people are so good at just changing and manipulating their voice to sound like other people. And I never really thought that I had that. And I still don't. But I thought if I could pull off his physicality, his look, then I could do the impression my way. So he put out the album on the 31st of August, and I just started writing. And the original concept was Eminem disses stuff. And let me see if I have any extra lines that didn't make the cut. So the original thing that I wrote was Eminem disses stuff, and I just made a list of things that he would diss. And so in the first list I ever made, I'm looking at it on my computer right now, I put intro talking, then he immediately insults Machine Gun Kelly, and then it just goes wild from there. A random guy on the street, a couple of birds in a tree. I had Popsicle on the list. If you've seen the video, you know that he definitely does diss a popsicle, and then a bunch of other different things. And I even wrote I wrote a verse of him dissing birds, and the birds. It's so bad. This is why it didn't make the cut. But it was the long lost verse of Eminem dissing birds was, "What's up with birds? Talking shit on my last album? What you gotta say, birds? Flying high up in the sky, just cruising by with two eyes? Like you're not afraid to die? What? Because you got wings? You think you better than us?" That's so bad. Oh my God. Thank God I didn't put that in the final cut. Oh, and there's more. Think you could take a shit on our cars and we won't give a fuck? Well, guess what? Might take a bird and put it in my butt, just to show all you birds that I am not someone to fuck with. I heard the birds don't like my last album. Now this is the outcome. It's so bad, dude. Okay. Glad that verse didn't make the final song. But it was cool because I loved writing kind of in his voice because Eminem, he comes off, I'm sure he's the nicest guy, but he comes off as like really hardcore. Like his delivery is tough. Everything he says has a lot of like energy behind it, right? This like sharp, aggressive energy. And I love that about him. And what I thought would be hilarious is to take all that sharp, aggressive energy and put it toward all these silly things like Stu from the Jiffy Lube and the Popsicle and everything. So I was writing the track at my house in the days immediately after the album dropped. And I usually like to give myself a couple days with it because I like to, sleep on things and come back and see if I can make anything better. in the writing of it, it was really important to me because I wanted it to come across that it was really silly, and I wanted every line to be funny, or like every other line to have a joke. And so around like on September 4th, we shot the video, and we shot it. I wanted to shoot it in a parking garage, but we couldn't get one, so we shot it in the alley right behind where I live in Los Angeles, and it ended up looking great. Shout out to Danny and Patrick. And everybody that helped out, Elijah, Danny, Patrick, and Elijah. And I'm pretty sure for any camera nerds or people like that out there, we shot, I think we shot on his Blackmagic. It might have been the Sony Venice. I forget. Danny, comment on this video or message me, and I'll let people know if they want to know. So we shot it in the alley on the 4th, and it took like 2 hours or so. A couple of really funny friends were a part of it. We for the Jiffy Lube scene, we went to this Midas auto shop around the corner from where I live, which was closed, but we wanted it to look like a proper auto shop because I thought that's just, all the stuff, all the bits I wanted to come across as real as possible. So I knew this auto shop will be closed on Sundays, so we shot it on that Sunday. Or Saturday or whenever it was closed. And we shot it, and then I was editing it on September 5th, right? And then I saw that Chris D'Elia put out his own impression of Eminem in his car, him on the phone, D'Elia like just kind of rapping like Eminem. And I'm a huge D'Elia fan too, and I was like, bummed, dude, because I was like, oh, fuck, this guy got to it before he put his out before I did. Can I even put mine out now? You know, I thought I was way too late. I thought everybody was going to clown me for like being late on it, because these days, if you have an idea, you got to put it out right away or else somebody else will do it. And I did not want people thinking that I was stepping in on D'Elia's joke. So I like hesitated. I put off the edit for like a day or two. And I was kind of bummed out. I was like, man, I just shot this great thing. I love the song. And then I started thinking, like, you know, if I loved it, somebody else out there is for sure going to love it, right? Like, even if it's just a couple of people, even if it doesn't blow up and get big like I wanted it to, at least some people are going to think that it's funny, right? And so I started watching the footage again, and I was cutting together the scene with the dog, and I just started like dying laughing, and I was like, no, yeah, this has to go out to the world. This has to go, right? Because if I was laughing, then I wanted other people to laugh, and it would do more harm than good for me to hold it back. So I decided to put it out. I kept cutting it together, and I put it out on September 12th. The dog in the video is our former neighbor's dog. His name is Jules, or Julius. And he now is probably more famous than, definitely, I mean, obviously more famous than I am, but more famous than most people that I know. That dog is phenomenal. He nailed that role. He didn't even have to rehearse, okay? It was all method, all right? And we gave him lots of pets and lots of treats, and he was totally cool. But, man, it was hell to keep him just sitting still, dude. Those shots where he's like, we needed him to sit still just for that opening push-in shot, like establishing that there's a dog in the scene. And he kept moving. He kept running towards us. He like peed in one of them. And so we finally got him to sit still for long enough. And I didn't yell in his face either when I was rapping. I was lip syncing because I knew I didn't know the lyrics for the look at this dog, doggity flog, floggity boggity, loggity boggity. So I was just like saying a bunch of different lyrics, hoping that I was getting them right, because I knew that dog was going to freak out and not be down to do this anymore real quick. So luckily we got enough and it worked out. And man, put the video out on that morning of September 12th. What was that, like a Wednesday or something? And it exploded, I think, kind of, which was cool. My buddy texted me after a couple hours and was like, hey man, you're like number one in the subreddit of the Reddit of Reddit. I don't know Reddit, but I was number one somewhere in Reddit, which was really cool. And I was very grateful for that. And I watched the numbers climb, and then I saw it got shared on a couple different platforms on social media, like 9gag, which is a content platform on Instagram, and World Star Hip Hop reposted the YouTube link, and what else? Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne the God reposted a clip of the video, and at first he didn't tag me in it, and I was like, no. I'm gonna need my credit, dog. I'm gonna need that good credit, okay? I'm gonna need that like 800 credit score credit, all right? So I DM'd him immediately, and then I sent an email to his manager or publicist or whatever, and I was super nice. I was like, hey, I just saw Charlemagne shared a clip of this video. I'm super grateful. Thank you so much for showing the video love. If it's possible, I would love to be tagged on the video just so people could get a link to my page and then go see the full thing. And so he did that. So shout out to Charlemagne for doing that. I appreciate you, dude. And then I saw that Ja Rule commented on it or liked it or something. And I was like, oh, damn, Ja Rule, still alive. That's dope. And it was cool, dude. It was really cool. But it all came back to that moment of like not knowing whether or not I should put it out because Chris D'Elia already did his and I was scared. I even didn't like it at first. When I first recorded the audio of the song and I was listening to it and I was like, man, is this even good? Do I sound like him? Because I don't like the sound of my own voice. I'm listening to myself on headphones right now. I can't wait to take these headphones off and just punch myself square in the forehead. All right? So I really didn't like the song. I had so much self-doubt. And then I put on the costume, the black hat, the black jacket, the pants with the chain, and I was like, no. You're Eminem now. It's time to be Eminem. And I kind of just willed myself out of that like dark circle of self-doubt, man, and I put it out. And so for anybody out there, man, if you're having self-doubt about something you're doing, dude, hey, just put it out. Whatever it is, just do the thing that you first set out to do and do it the best that you possibly can, because you never know if Ja Rule is going to like it. You never know if Ja Rule is going to comment on your thing, okay? So that's the lesson that I took away from it. And since then, I've loved doing the Eminem stuff. It's a very small part of what I do overall. I've only done a couple of Eminem videos, and I rarely do it live. But it's been really fun, and I love the feedback of it. A lot of people probably hate it, and that's fine because it's the internet. And if you're not being hated on the internet, you're doing something wrong, all right? So I've enjoyed doing it. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching it. Will I do more? Probably. I do it whenever I feel inspired to do it. I'm not just going to do it because I know it's going to get likes and views. I would rather do it if it really is something that inspires me. The concept. If the concept is something that really moves me and makes me laugh, and if Jules is available, because that dog is really hard to book right now. So. That's about it, dude. I think that's the full story. So if you like this, tune in Monday, March 16th, man. I'm going to put out the full podcast episode 1 on Monday, March 16th, and then every Monday after that. Please subscribe and rate and do all that stuff. I don't know how to do it, but you can figure it out because you're listening to this and you got this far. There's a link on my Instagram page for the iTunes place. Subscribe to it. It comes out in a week. The more subscriptions, the better, I guess. I don't know. Just if you like this, just keep coming back wherever you are. All right, that's all. That's it, man. Brent Pella on Instagram. The Brent Pella Show on Instagram. What else do I need to really say here? Huh? I don't know. Love each other. Love yourselves, and I'll see you on Monday, March 16th.